Hi everyone, in the last video we have discussed about exception handling in Python. We saw how we can handle a particular exception by using a try, except and finally block. Now in this video we are going to see how we can raise an exception or an error. So if you want to raise a particular exception at a particular point, then you can do that in Python. So without doing further delay, let's get into this. As you can see guys, I'm in a PyCharm and let me write here lecture 27. Because we know that this is our lecture 27 in Python series. So guys, before moving to raising an exception, we should know where should we raise an exception. So for that, I'm going to give you an example. I'm going to take a number from the user. So I'm going to take a number in num variable, and here I'm going to write int input, enter the number. Alright guys, so we all know that this line is going to take a number from the user and will store in this num variable. Now guys, what I'm going to do, I'm going to take a number between 0 to 50. So let me mention here as well 0 to 50. So I want to take a number from the user which should be in between 0 to 50, right? Now let's take a number from the user and let's check it whether it is in the range or not. So we can do with a conditional statement, right? So I'm going to say if num is less than 0 or num is greater than 50, that means it is out of range, right? So print num is out of range. Alright, if it is not, that means it is a good number, valid number. So num is valid. Alright guys, so we know that this thing, right? We have seen already this thing, conditional statement in our series as well. So now let's run this code first. So I'm going to take a number first of all in the range. So let's take a number 25 and let's put an enter. So you can see that it's printed num is valid because we have used here condition. Now guys, if I enter a number more than 50 or less than 0, let me run that. So let's take I enter a number which is 100. So it is more than 50, right? So it is not in the range. So what I am going to get? I am getting num is out of range. But this is not an error. But I want to show an error to the user. If user enter more than 50 or less than 0, then he or she should get an error. So basically we can raise an exception by using a two keyword. The one is raise and the other is assert. So we are going to see these two keywords in this video. So first of all, I'm going to raise an exception by using a raise keyword. So instead of this print statement, I'm going to comment this thing, and what I'm going to write, I'm going to write a raise keyword, raise. Alright, so we have seen already in the last video what are the exceptions. So in the screen also you can see the most common exception we have in our Python. So we have this value error, type error, name error, index error, zero division error. We have a lot of exception in Python, but I have mentioned only the most important exception. So here I'm going to use a value error. We all know that we are playing with a value because we want a number between 0 to 50. So I use a value error. And if I run this code now, and let's take a number out of range. So I took a number again 100. And now if I enter, you can see that instead of this num is out of range, it threw an error. It threw an basically exception which is value error. So we can say that by using a raise keyword, we can throw an exception which is going to be terminate our program as well. So if I write anything after this 10 line as well, let's say print hello. And if I run this code, let's take this time 65. So you can see that I got an exception and after that it terminates this program. It didn't see whether we have a correct line on 13 or not. So basically by using this raise keyword, we can throw an exception to the user. And you can handle by using a try and except block. We have already seen in the last video as well. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to show you how we can pass a value as well. So I'm going to comment this thing, and now if you want to print something here as well with an error, so you can do also. You can just write here bracket, and instead of the bracket you can write whatever you want to print to the user. So let's say here I am going to say num is out of range. Now if I run this code and let me take a value this time, let's take a minus 50, which is also not in the range. So you can see that I got an error, value error, but it also printing some content, right? Num is out of range. So basically this is how we can also print some content to the user with the error. So that's all how we can raise an exception by using a raise keyword. Now guys, we are going to see how we can raise an exception by using assert. So let's move to that part. So guys, we are going to raise an exception, assertion exception by using a assert keyword. So first of all, I'm going to copy this line, and after that I'm going to comment all these things. Now guys, I'm going to paste that line here, and it is going to take a number from the user, right? And now let's understand what is an assert. So basically this keyword is going to throw an assertion error. And guys, this is just nothing like a conditional statement. It take a condition. Whether this condition is true or false, it depends on you. And if this condition is true, that means it is not going to throw any exception. But if that condition is false, that time it's going to throw an error. So let's take an condition. I'm going to say if number is equal to 10, that means it is true, it is not going to throw any exception. But if it not the case, if number is not equal to 10, then it is going to throw exception. So let me run this code now. So guys, first of all I'm going to enter number 10 because I have a condition here, number is equal to 10, right? So if I enter a 10, then you can see that this condition become true and it didn't return any error, right? Let me first of all delete this 0 to 50 because it doesn't mean here. Now guys, if I run this again, now guys, if I enter a number not equal to 10, let's take a number which is 12. So you can see that I got an error, assertion error, right? So I got an error, it's saying that this condition is not true. If it is not true, then it's going to throw an exception which is assertion error. And similarly, in here we see in a value error that we can also print some text. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to print some text here as well. So I'm going to say, I put a comma and after that I use a bracket. Here I am passing some text. So let's take number is not equal to 10. Now if I run this code, let me take a number which is not equal to 10. Let's take a 15 now. And you can see that I got an assertion error with same text, number is not equal to 10. So this is how you can raise an exception by using assert keyword. We have seen now. We can use some condition and if that condition is not true, then it is going to return an exception which is assertion error. And if that condition is true, then it's not going to throw any error. It's going to start executing your next code. Alright guys, so we have seen how we can raise an exception using a raise keyword, using a assert. If you like this video, give a thumbs up to this video and subscribe my channel. Meet you in the next video. Thank you.